Happy Monday. How's everybody doing? Today I have a great guest, Bianca from Moon Rising Astrology, and we are going to chat about an ancient technique called annual profections. A very useful technique. There she is. Let's see. Hi, kind heart healing. Awesome. It should, Instagram gods. Yeah, so as I was mentioning, it's an ancient technique, annual perfections. It can help you navigate your life from your birthday to birthday. What is the emphasis? Which um, okay, let's try this again. Okay. Hi, hi, heart healing. Nice to see you. I don't know why this Instagram, every Instagram live, we have issues with connections, with seeing each other with something. I don't understand this Instagram. It should work nice. Yeah, well, it's Monday. Yeah. So write me down how has been this weekend for you, Pluto Sun conjunctions. Um, was this something that you experienced? Was it intense for you? I wanna hear how is your. Oh, there she is. Hello, good
Ah,
morning.
hello, it's working. Yay.
Is it
Yeah.
working? All good?
Yeah, can you see
Perfect.
me?
Yes, I can see you. I can
Ah,
hear
great.
you. All is good. The only thing that is happening is going through my watch for some reason. Oh my. Better?
Oh, uh, yeah, I
Now
think
I
I can
can
hear
hear
you
you.
now. Yeah.
Now it's crazy. Now I can't hear you because
Oh,
my watch is. Oh my
oh.
lord. Okay, better. Okay. Thank
Yes.
you. The sound was going through my watch because I'm on my phone. It's
Oh,
crazy.
no worries.
Well, yeah. Well, good morning, Bianca. Thank you for joining. How are you doing in general? How is this weekend for you? The Pluto Sun conjunction.
Yeah. Well, it's been a lot actually. So my son is actually an Aquarius moon, not really, not an early degree or something, but yeah, he got a bit sick and he did not want to sleep at all. So a little bit sleep deprived here. But it's
Okay.
really like he was feeling the Pluto transition to
Mhm.
Aquarius already. So that was very interesting.
Absolutely, it was very powerful. Yeah, and
Yeah.
kind heart healing. She also says intense energies for sure this weekend. Yes, I wasn't myself on Saturday, to be honest. I was really uh, nervous and just not good. Yesterday was much better. So yeah, we are
Oh,
feeling it all. Yeah, the nervous system kind of got hit in my sense. I don't know, something happened.
oh
So
wow.
oh,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, crazy
know.
energy.
Yeah. I want to really thank you for taking the time to do this live with me today. Such a great topic, such an interesting, profound technique. So before we start, can you just shortly introduce yourself and then we can go on?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, so I started studying astrology when I was about 20 years old,
Mhm.
and I didn't really take it seriously at that moment. And then, like, I think 1 year, um, I think when I was 10 years later after that, I took it more seriously and I kept studying it. And now I'm actually studying with Adam Ehlenbos just
Mhm.
recently. And
I have I have so many of his students that I talked to that I said I'm gonna reach out to him. I said, look, I'm talking to all of your students. I need to talk to you as well.
oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just took it more serious last year and I yeah, created this Instagram account. I was a bit in the astrological closet, so to say, so to
Same
speak.
here.
And
Yeah, same here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ah, it's interesting. Yeah, and I'm just getting more comfortable showing myself on camera. And you just asked me to go live with you, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, there are some synchronicities in the sky. Coincidences. I don't think they are. Just we get in tune with each other on a different level, especially we that practice astrology. We just kind of yeah. Anyway, that's so interesting. I love that about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me more about this technique. So what would be the best way to introduce people? How can they? What is it? Let's try. Let's talk about what is this. How is this technique working?
Yeah, so annual perfections, it's something I've been started studying just recently actually, and I am really into writing astrology forecasts, looking at the transits, and this is such an interesting technique to me because it's an ancient Time Lord technique, and it's if you know, so when you look at your age, so I am 31 and I am in an 8th house perfection year. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's this wheel divided into 12 houses. When you
Mm-hmm.
start from the rising sign,
Mm-hmm.
the first house, and you look at the time when you were born, you were
Mm-hmm.
0 years old. But this is your
Yeah.
first house perfection year. And then we are looking
I'm gonna,
at this,
if you
yeah?
don't mind, I'm just gonna show people
Oh,
the
that's
wheel.
great.
This is how it
Yeah,
works.
yeah, yeah, the wheel. That's great.
Yeah, I have it
Yeah.
printed out just to be handy every time I I talk to a client or to
Oh,
somebody.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
great. Yeah, I'm not really great at math. So,
no, it's okay.
yeah, so,
Uh,
and
I just wanted to, before you continue, I just want to tell people you can always Google the wheel, just put the perfection wheel online, and then you can see how old are you now and which house is affecting you this year. So it's from
yeah,
the birthday to birthday.
yes,
Yeah, go
from
ahead.
birthday to birthday. And of course, when you're born, you're 0 years old and you're entering your first house, your first year into the world. And then when you
Mhm.
are 1 year old, then you will enter your second house perfection year, and so on. Yeah, and because the wheel is divided into 12,
Mhm.
the cycle repeats itself after 12 years. So 0 years old is your first house perfection year, then 12, also your first house,
Mhm.
24. So, yeah, and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you're saying you're now in your eighth house perfection.
Yes, yes, I'm in my 8th house. And
Hmm.
my birthday is actually coming up in a couple of weeks, and then I will be entering my 9th house perfection year.
Ah,
So,
that's the
really excited.
beautiful. That's the
Yeah,
beautiful one.
really
That's
excited about
really
that one.
profound. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
currently in my 10th,
Oh, okay.
and then in June I'm gonna start my 11th.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I love
That's
that.
also all the houses I say above the horizons are very good because you're very prominent. You're out there. You showing yourself. It's very active. Those years of your life are very very active. Yeah.
Yes, 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 very much so. Yeah, and yeah, so it definitely gives you a bit of an overview for the coming year if you
Mm.
look at the house. Um, so for me, with the 8, it's the house of death and rebirth. I would also say healing, shared resources. So those themes could be coming up, yeah, the coming year if you are in an 8th house perfection year. And um, so I don't know, have you experienced a lot in the themes of your 10th house already?
Well, yes. I've been I've been doing astrology more often. So I started doing astrology while it was my ninth perfection year, which is about
Oh
knowledge and
wow.
astrology in general. So I started practicing, and I came out as you said, right? And then from last June I started doing more connections with others and lives and just being out there showing my face. And I just did my first workshop, and you just have more clients. I was really it really um, I was really kind of I was promoting myself more and projecting out in the outside world a lot.
Oh
So
wow.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could really see that it was really prominent. But also, what's important is the Time Lord, as you said. So can you please tell us more
yes,
about that?
definitely. Yeah, so I am a Taurus rising, and so when looking at the 8th house, Sagittarius is placed in my 8th house. So I don't have any planets in Sagittarius in my 8th house. But when you look at Sagittarius, and the traditional ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter. So Jupiter will play a big part for me this year. Well, the year's almost done, but it has played a big part for me. So you can look at the house Jupiter is placed in natally. So for me, it's in Virgo in the 5th house. So this could be something that will be highlighted as well, the themes of the 5th house. Yeah, but also where Jupiter is transiting through, which is in Taurus right now, and in my 1st house. And
Yes.
yeah, and it went over my ascendant, my moon a couple of times. It had been retrograde.
So
It just
how did you
recently went,
experience this? So
yeah,
how did you experience this? Because
um,
it's very prominent for you. It was really active, as I can understand
yeah,
from
yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah. So yeah, when Jupiter was conjunct Mercury around the end of March last year. Yeah, my grandma actually passed
Oh,
away.
no.
So really an 8th house topic for me. And Jupiter was also square my natal Venus. And Venus is my chart ruler. So having my Lord of the Year squaring my chart ruler was, yeah, pretty intense. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and so later on in the year, Jupiter made a square to my natal Saturn. I actually lost 2 pets of me, 2 guinea pigs. Yeah, a couple of
A lot
days
of so
right
a lot
after.
of so a lot of letting go
Yeah,
energy for you, for
yes,
sure.
yes, yes, definitely. And then, um, yeah, so Jupiter just went direct on New Year's Day, or was it
December
on?
30th, around
Yeah,
December 30th.
yes, yes, it was, yeah. And then, so when I woke up after the fireworks had happened on New Year's Day, I actually found my 3rd guinea pig passed away as well. So that was really really weird to me that I've had so many losses. Yeah, the last year. Yeah,
Uh,
and of course it's
uh,
the house of healing too, having to do a lot of
mm,
shadow work. Yeah, I really felt all of that energy. So that's why I'm really excited to
I can
get
imagine.
on to the next house.
I can imagine. I can really, really imagine. Yeah, yeah. Which it's much easier for. I just want to mention this because when you have like a Jupiter or Saturn ruling your year, it's much easier to track and they're more intense. Like for me, Mercury is still ruling my
Mm,
house, my 10th house. So it's a
yeah,
lot of changes. So when Mercury is your time lord, I feel everything like and I'm a
yeah,
mercurial person. Like I have Gemini stellium and Virgo rising in my natal chart.
wow.
So this year has been all over the place. It's very, it's very fast. Lots of things was happening. Like I can't pinpoint dates like you, but but it was really, very prominent, very fast. So many things, so many connections, as I said, so many, um, you know, uh, communicating, networking. It was really prominent and still is, and it's going to be until June for sure. So I can't pinpoint
Yeah,
dates, but I know it was really fast and quick and lots of information, data exchange, like all these lives. I'm talking to many people, exchanging and sharing information. So that's in my case was really really
yeah,
highlighted. I
yeah,
love this technique. This technique is very very good,
yeah.
very very
I
good.
love it actually. I just recently
Mm.
got into it, and at first I was like, "Oh wow, yeah, this is kind of a simple technique. You just look at how old you are, and then what house theme might come up." But then it's getting more complex
Mm.
the more you dive into it, because when you look at the ruler, and then
Mm.
your natal placement of that ruler, and then um, yeah, having no planets in the 8th house doesn't really matter because things will get highlighted anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah. Uh,
especially Sagittarius season, all those planets come through my 8th house. So yeah,
yes. Ah, that is really really that is really up to point. Oh, okay, it's all good. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that is very important to understand that, what is happening in your natal chart. And I often use this technique along with the solar return. So I look at both.
Mm.
It's very interesting to see how that overlaps as well, like on a deeper level. If you want to go
Yeah,
one step further,
yeah, I really
it's
want
very,
to
very
look at that as
useful.
well. Yeah,
Yeah, very,
very interesting.
very, very useful. So what would you say, for example, okay, I'm going to give my example because it's maybe the easiest. So next year, I mean, from June onwards, I'm going to go in my 11th house, and the moon is going to be my ruler
Ah,
because it's a Cancer house. So that is always very tricky. So what would you say? Because moon is changing every 2.5 days.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
always feel that moon years are very hard. Um, what did you what do you think about, when the moon year is there, and what about eclipses then? How
yeah,
do they affect a person?
yeah.
Did you maybe
I would
think about that?
definitely look at the eclipses because
Yeah.
you probably will be more sensitive to
Mm.
those. And I would say new moons, full moons as well. And yeah, so do you have any planets in Cancer in that house?
Yes, I have Venus and I have Jupiter
Ah,
in Cancer, which is nice, and they're in 11th house, which is also house of joy. I don't know, I'm not a traditional astrologer, but I know some things I picked up with all this uh, learning. So that's all good.
yeah,
And that, yes, I'm going to mention that we should use the whole sign houses for
yes,
this. I know even
yes,
I don't usually use them. I don't usually use them, but for every ancient technique, I use the technique that they use just because I think it gives us the energies of how they saw it. That makes
yes,
sense to
yes.
me.
I forgot to mention it, but yeah, you should definitely use the whole sign for this because it's an ancient system and an ancient technique, so it will work best that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And so I would look at the planets that are in your 11th house and when they will get
mm,
activated through the outer, through the transits coming through your
yeah,
11th house. So
yeah. I'm
definitely
already
during
thinking.
Cancer season.
I know.
Sorry?
I don't. I don't want to talk about myself today, but it's just such a great example because Mars is going to go retrograde in Cancer.
Yes.
It's going to go through my perfected house. It's going to be very active, and I'm going to have to. I already know, like, this is going to be very, very interesting. Um,
Yes, I was going to
the,
mention Mars. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to go retrograde, so it's going to be in my 11th house all the time, like because this is going to
Yeah.
start from June to next June, 2025. So it's going to be there all the time. So it's going to be very
Yes, yes.
prominent.
Lots of
Interesting year for sure.
activity for you in that area of your life. Yeah.
Yeah, which is also networking, socializing, being online. So I'm looking forward. I'm just going to continue what I'm actually doing, just a little bit of different flavor, I feel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And your moon is in Gemini, right?
Gemini.
In
Yeah.
the
So
10th
everything
house.
is
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah. So that's interesting how that is connected, right? Your networking and then your career house, so to say. So it's
Yeah.
interesting
So
how
that's
that's all intertwined.
I'm looking forward to it. I love it. I love doing this. It makes my heart happy, so I'm loving it. It's interesting that in my chart, everything comes back to Gemini Mercury. My Gemini Mercury rules everything in my chart.
Oh, wow.
Is the final depositor of all the planets. So I cannot escape. I cannot escape. And it's in Gemini, and it's a good placement. So I need to talk, guys. I know maybe it's too much for somebody, but I need to. it's my life.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So, you know, so tell me more about this.
Yeah, yeah.
What else do you want to share?
Yeah, and yeah, so I already mentioned the Lord of the Year. When it's going retrograde, you will feel it more as well. And also, as you said, Mars is going retrograde in Cancer, so in that house, and Mars is not even the Lord of the Year, but you will probably feel it very well. So if there would have been a planet going retrograde, it was Mercury actually. Mercury went retrograde through Sagittarius as well. So yeah, that's something that can be really felt when you are in an 8th house perfection year, for example.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
yeah, and another thing that I really like to do with this technique is looking back to see what has happened in other house perfection years. Um, because when I was 19, I was also in an eighth house perfection year. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, also had some losses. Luckily, not someone died. No one passed away, so that was good. But yeah, a long-term relationship ended for me. That person actually moved away a bit far away, actually. I got into therapy for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, also eighth house topics. And then when I entered my ninth house year, that is the year I got into astrology for the first time.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, and it's interesting that I'm now going to enter my ninth house year again. And I'm interesting to see what themes are coming up for me again.
Absolutely. It's very exciting. So it's a couple of weeks and then is your birthday,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Ah,
yes, yeah,
happy
and
early birthday. I wish you all the best. It's gonna be exciting.
uh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you have Pluto in Aquarius now for your solar return, which is first
Yeah,
time, right? That's
yes, yes.
exciting.
I'm going to
Mm,
look at my solar return the coming weeks a couple of times, I think, because I really like to know what's coming up. I have
mm.
a Taurus moon and rising, and I don't really like surprises. I just, and that's exactly why I like to look at the transits and use techniques like annual perfections. So that's really why I wanted to talk about it, because it's really nice to um, be aware of the themes that may come up for you the coming months or year, if you use annual perfections.
Yeah, it's a good way to strategize. I'm attending London School of Astrology currently with Frank Clifford, and he always says this is we need to strategize. This is the way. This is what we actually do with uh, knowing what's coming up.
Yeah,
It gives us a better understanding, and which is a great point.
yeah,
I love that. You can't always prepare for everything. As you said, death will come, or if something will happen from the outside world. Some because eighth house is especially with you,
yeah,
it's house you want to control but you can't. That's the whole
yeah,
point, right? Those are the external things that are happening out of your control, but still, if you understand that this is part of life, you can kind of emotionally prepare,
yeah,
at least a little bit. It's not perfect, but no, but I understand
yeah,
it's not an easy perfection year for sure.
yeah, yeah.
That is
And now when I'm entering my ninth house, it's yeah, I have a Capricorn stellium there with Uranus, Venus, Mars, and yeah, the MC is placed there in the whole sign system as well. So yeah,
mm-hmm.
lots of the North Node. It's going. Yeah, my North Node is at 7 degrees. So
Wow. Where is your Saturn?
my Saturn is in Aquarius. It's a 10
Oh,
degree.
so it's gonna, yeah. So it's in the next house, and the 10th house.
Yeah, yeah,
That's really prominent. So the connection between the 9 and the 10. So yeah, we're gonna see and feel. We're gonna see you more. I feel very good. I like that.
yeah. I
I like
hope
that.
so. Yeah, and then for my ninth house, it's Capricorn. So for Capricorn, you look at the ruler of
Mm,
Capricorn. It's Saturn. So Saturn will be the Lord of the year. Um, and also, when you look at my 10th house, it's Aquarius. Then the best thing to do is look at the traditional ruler
mm,
for Aquarius, which is also
mm,
Saturn. And then you also have Pisces, and Pisces is traditionally ruled by Jupiter. So with modern astrology, you can also take Neptune in account, of
mm,
course. But I would look at the traditional ruler for
mm,
this technique. But then, of course, if there's a planet like Pluto or Neptune coming through that house, it will definitely be something you'll
mm.
be feeling. So I would definitely use it for transits like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. I know it's very interesting. Yeah. So look at the sign of the house, and then you can see, what are other planets actually doing to that sign, because other planets are usually the same sign. So,
Yeah.
for example, you're gonna have this. a Capricorn year. So everything, all the other planets that are earth or water, they're going to be doing you a favor, let's say, and
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And then you look at the signs, so cardinal. So yeah, you're going to also have Mars squaring your the transiting Mars squaring all of that. So that's going to be a little bit of challenging. So look at the modalities as
Yes.
well. Um, yeah, so that's very interesting technique. You can really plan your year ahead and looking for best months to do something, when to stay low, when to go up, and just really, really good have a good business plan
Yes. Yes.
for your life.
Yes. You can just write out your business plan for the whole year if you just look up all those transits and definitely with the Lord of the Year. Yeah.
Yeah, when I talk to my
Yes.
clients, like when they for solar returns, I always add this, and we look everything together and see what teams can come up for them, and in the context of their life, if your fourth house is prominent, maybe you want to move, maybe you want to reconnect with your family members. It depends, right? As you said, your
Yeah.
eighth house, you never know what's going to happen with that.
Yes.
It can be just getting a mortgage and buying a house as well,
Yes.
in that sense, right? Getting
Yes.
getting some
Yes.
finances,
Definitely.
or your partner can, because the eighth house is also money of your partner, so your partner can gain some money. Maybe there's some good things as well. It doesn't
Yes.
have to be. Depends, as you said, on the other stuff.
Yeah.
Who is ruling, what the ruler is doing, and what the trans is doing. Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
so kind hearts healing says, for Aquarius, you would look at Saturn.
Yes. Yes. I would look at Saturn only. Yes. And then, of course, take the other planets into account as well, but then by transit and not as the Lord of the Year. Yes, that's how I would use it.
Yeah, 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 that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what would you do you have any maybe advice for people who are going through tough houses? Like you just mentioned eight, we talked about it already. That's a tough one. You to give your example. But then the 12th and the 6th can be very hard as well. What would
Yes.
you
Yes.
maybe tell people how to prepare for those years?
Um, yeah, like I would not be scared of that anything bad would happen really, because
Mm,
those houses have quite some different topics as well. You know, sixth house
mhm,
being health, but also routine
mm,
and being of service, of pets. Maybe you will get a new pet, or maybe because you are afraid of getting health issues, you might want to look at your diet and then, yeah, prepare a bit. Maybe yeah, work out some more or eat healthier. And yeah, I think also for the 12th house, which can be about mental health,
mhm.
it can be really helpful because it can really help you go through some mental health issues. I wouldn't be scared to gain mental health issues, but really, yeah, see it as something that may help you overcome these issues. Really.
Yeah, being mindful. It kind of this is what astrology actually does. It gives us more
Yeah.
awareness of what is
Yeah.
happening with us and around us, and then you can prepare and prevent some things, maybe, because we never know how energies works. What happened if this or didn't? Oh, love wins. What is the topic? Solar return house. Sorry, the topic is annual perfection. So as I go ahead, Bianca, you explain while I show the wheel.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
more time, quickly.
We're talking about annual perfections, and this is a Time Lord technique that can help you define the theme of the year. Because we're yes, that is the wheel, and you can look up your age,
Yeah.
and starting from the rising sign, which is when you're 0 years old, you're in your
Mhm.
first perfection house, and then when you turn 1 year old, you're in your second
Yeah.
perfection house, and then those themes will be more highlighted during that year.
Yeah.
And
It's
um,
interesting.
yeah, definitely,
No, I'm
yeah.
just thinking. I had my Jupiter return. It was my 11th house perfection when I first learned about astrology and
Ah,
science. I was 12 years, 10. I was 10 years old. Not even. Yeah. So it's interesting how that
yeah,
uh, very interesting.
that is
Very good
interesting.
technique.
Yeah, but also I was thinking about, because Jupiter is my time lord at the moment, and it takes Jupiter about 12 years or so to repeats its cycle through the zodiac again. And when I was in an 8th house perfection year, when I was 19 years old, Jupiter was just wrapping up things in Aries, I think, and then started transiting through Taurus. So that is interesting because it comes back every 12 years
Yes.
in my 12th and first house as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, did not really think about that at first, but really interesting.
If you guys, if you have time, definitely, as Bianca said, go back and look at previous cycles, what happened, what if you can remember, what was happening in the house, and then you can, it won't be the same, of course, because there's
Hmm.
life experience, different circumstances, but it can be very similar, or you can just reflect on it and prepare yourself. You know,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's
and
a
it
good thing.
won't be similar as similar because of course
Mm.
the planets will be in another sign doing something different every time. So yeah, the same themes might come up, but in a different way. Yeah.
Yes, yes, because transit's actually gonna trigger it. Like it's not gonna, many people ask me, when the solar return, oh, is the whole year gonna be very like that? Actually, it's not. So this is the like a, it's like a also a map of that year, and then depending on what's going on with your life and how the transits usually trigger everything, solar returns and
Yeah.
progressions and solar
Progression.
arcs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use solar arc as well. I love that
Oh,
technique. So all these techniques I feel that transits are just triggers. They triggered our natal chart and everything else, all the other forecasting. So they are kind of, this is we feel them because they're happening right now. Yeah, interesting.
yes, yes. Yeah, and I was also just recently learning about sect, which is
Hmm.
a diurnal or a nocturnal chart. If you are born during the day or during the night, then if you look at the Lord of the Year, um, like for example, maybe the Lord of the Year is Venus, and Venus is a benefic, which is a very nice planet to have as a Lord of the Year. And then when it's in a night placed in a night chart, then it will be more benefic because it's how do you say it? It's in sect, right? It's in
In
favor.
it's in the term exaltation, no exaltation. What is it called? The
Yeah,
term.
it's in.
I don't know those. I don't know those those traditional. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's
I
exalting
just
or
recently started getting into a sect. Yeah,
yeah.
and so
Yeah, sectors understand. So so for people born at night, um, they have. I think Venus is then more beneficial than
yes,
Jupiter, let's say, right? And for yes,
yes.
that's
And
what you're
then
meaning, right?
if you're born during the day, then Jupiter is more beneficial for
Mhm.
you. And I
Mhm.
thought it was when you are born during the day, then Mars is more malefic, more less
Yes, that's true.
beneficial, I would
Yes.
say. And then Saturn is the one that's less beneficial during a night if you are born
That's
during the
right.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that can really that can really say something about the outcome as well of the year because
Mhm. That's
if you are in a Mars ruled perfection house, and Mars is and you're born during the day, then Mars can be less beneficial for you. Yeah.
but that's what I'm also thinking. But my next year it's gonna be wild because but I'm also date chart, so Mars going retrograde to my perfection year is
Mm.
not gonna be it's gonna be all over the place. I
Yeah,
have to prepare
yeah.
for
Can
roller
be a
coaster.
bit yeah, can be a bit chaotic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it can be really all over the place. So I have to kind of, you know, very really prepare and make my steps very, otherwise I'm gonna be exhausted. I can, just burn out as well. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah,
Yeah, maybe you will have too much energy and maybe you will need to see what you will do with all that energy.
My husband's gonna go crazy. He already thinks like I need to calm down. He's like, "What more energy? No." I'm kidding, but it is something. It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
To look at those, to look at that. That's another layer. I like that you mentioned that. So you can even
yeah,
look at this is another layer. It gives you very nice. Yeah.
yeah. And
So
if
are you
you,
a night chart or a day chart?
I am a day chart. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
you said Aquarius is up. Yeah, yeah. In your house. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so with going to a Saturn year, yeah, will be less dramatic, I think,
Yeah.
because it's not not as malefic as Mars is for me in a day chart.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have to actually now look at my Mars ruling. What happened? Because my Mars rules my eighth house. I don't know what happened. I have to kind of now. I'm going to actually reflect on that. With me, it's very hard to actually use the. I mean, I have Mars and Saturn conjunction very strong in my natal chart, so they're
Mm.
always together. And and then I have Jupiter and Venus also conjuncted.
Oh,
So being
wow.
being a day or a night, I have two malefics together, two benefics together, so really concentrated energy with me. So
Mm.
that like,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Wow.
it's interesting. Cool,
Yeah.
awesome. This is great. I don't know. Do you have anything else to mention? Because I think you went through so much, so many details, so many
Yeah.
extra layers of how to look at annual perfections.
I think
What would you like to add?
there's one more layer maybe,
Hmm.
like when you are looking at the Lord of the Year. For me, it's Jupiter right now, and
Okay.
then see how is your natal Jupiter placed. So for me, it's actually retrograde, but it's making a nice trine to my midheaven, so that's not too bad. But yeah, maybe if it was opposite or square another planet, then it would have triggered that planet as well during the year. So it depends on how the natal planet is placed. If it's placed in a positive way or if it's afflicted.
So how did you, since you have so many losses this year, how would you say, did you take it with more ease in that sense? Was it less dramatic? Was it more accepting? Just
Um,
because Jupiter is doing these nice aspects or no?
yeah, well, it was a bit all over the place. Some losses were more, I was more accepting of those. Yeah, but yeah, one of them not so much. But yeah, it's just
So
life, I guess. I
yeah.
need to deal with it, but yeah, I don't know how to say that, but um, yeah, could have been more dramatic, I guess.
No, what I hear from you is that you kind of made peace with it, like
Yeah,
understanding that this is part of life, which is also that Jupiter helps you with that,
yeah, that's
in that sense, because Jupiter is
true.
a protector.
Yeah,
Jupiter is a protector. Many people feel that Jupiter gains you something. It doesn't have to gain, and it can protect you for something, or help you just have an easier, time to process information. Because from what you're saying, I feel that you at peace, which is important. I think
yes.
this
Yes,
is what Jupiter
you're
brings.
definitely
Yeah,
right about it. Yeah, I'm more at peace with it now, and yeah, I think maybe if it was afflicted more, it would have been something that could have been um, yeah, it would have dragged on for a couple of years, maybe
right.
for
Or more, yeah,
yeah,
or more emotional, or more, just
yeah,
more restless, or whatever. Yeah, it's
yes.
interesting. Uh, kind heart ruling has another question. Is Saturn for a day rule chart bad?
Um, is set for a day root chart that well, it's not bad. It's malefic, of course, but Mars is more malefic for a day chart, and Saturn,
Yeah. So
yeah, and Saturn for a night chart. Yeah, so um, it's less yeah, how do I say this? It's less malefic than
yeah,
Mars.
yeah. So it can be, yeah. So it's not as as I don't know, as challenging. Oh, the night chart. She,
Oh,
she
for
she
a
means for
night
the
chart.
night chart.
Yes, for
Yeah.
a night chart it is. Yeah, it will be more challenging. Yes. And then also, if you are in a Saturn ruled year and you are in you have a night chart, then I would also look at the way Saturn is placed natally, and if it how it's aspected. If you really want to dive in deep.
Yeah, that's very important. That's very good. Yeah, yeah. And then what is happening in the transits that are happening in that house?
Yeah.
Some years there's no transits or there's nothing hitting you, you know, especially people who have stelliums. They always
Mm-hmm.
say these people have very intense years and then nothing for a long time. You know,
Yes. Yes.
people who have scattered, like the splash, you
Yeah.
know, when I see the chart, I see the splash chart. There's always something happening with that people in their lives. There's always something.
Yeah.
With stelliums, it can be really, really hard because it's a lot of things. Like I know many people born, I think at your generation, I think you're born beginning of the
Yeah.
90s or something. So a lot of, it was a big stellium in Capricorn. And, so when this Pluto was in Capricorn, it was very, very intense or, and then, it's going to be easier after. So
Yes.
in that sense, that's why it's very important to understand the chart for a bigger point of view to see what is the big picture. So
Yes. Of
some years
course.
can be really, yeah, some years can be just really flowing. Nothing major is happening, and some are really dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people tell me, "Oh, you know what? Why is this all happening at once?" And I'm
Mm.
thinking, you probably have some stellium somewhere.
Yeah.
Can I see your chart and I'll tell you? You know, yeah, that's so interesting,
Yeah, and that's
amazing.
what's so nice about looking at the transits and this technique. It's just, preparing a bit, being aware of what might happen. You never know what might happen really, but it's just nice to have some sort of explanation for it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it gives us hope. This is
Yeah.
what astrology also gives us hope,
Yeah,
which is
definitely. Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Bianca, so much. I think this was amazing. Really, really amazing. So before we wrap up, people, please go follow Bianca, Moon Rising Astrology, and tell us, what do you have? Do you offer readings?
Yes, I offer readings one-on-one, and I also do pre-recorded ones if people are not into one-on-ones. So, yeah.
Awesome. So where can people find you? On Instagram is the best way to find you,
Yes,
right?
on Instagram is the best thing. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you
Yeah.
very much, everybody, for joining, for interaction. Thank you, Bianca, for beautiful, beautiful
Yes, thank you.
presentation. It was really nice to talk to you and meet you in person.
Yes,
So I hope we can do this some
same.
other time, something
Yes, thank
else. Yeah,
you so
awesome.
much for having me. It was really nice. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Okay, bye, guys. Have a great week. Talk
Bye.
soon. Bye bye.